What is going on today, guys? So today I want to talk about the new season coming up, which is going to be year 8 season 3. And I want to talk about, you know, the new stuff going into this season, some of the major things that they're adding and changing within this new season, and as well as give my opinions on it. So to start things off, I want to talk about the new operator. The new operator's name is Ram. And what Ram does is she gets this drone. She gets 4 of them, actually. She gets this really big drone that destroys anything that's soft. So what I mean by this is, let's say I was Ram right now, and I wanted to come in here and put the drone down. Let me eliminate these enemies first, and I'll give a good example. Okay. So let's say I'm Ram, right? I come in, I put my drone down, put it down right here, and I activate it. The way you would activate it is almost like a thermite charge, where you put the thermite charge on the wall, he then takes out this thing, and he clicks it. It's just like that with Ram. And then as soon as it activates, it'll start. Hey, there's a guy there. Oh boy, oh boy. There's a lot of people down there. Jeez. You stop bothering me? Oh my god. You just keep coming. Anyhow, so it would, let's say, you put it down and it starts here. It would keep going in a straight line, if you wanted it to go in a straight line. And it would just keep on going, continue on. It would even go through here and continue on until it hits something that's not soft, that it can't break, which would be this wall right here. And it would even go through, like, let's say I was, I was putting it down right here. It would keep going, and it would even go through this wall like this and keep going until it hit this wall. So it has massive destructive capabilities. So much so that I think it is going to be one of the most, probably one of the greatest devices or gadgets to ever be released in this game ever. And I think that the capabilities it has to destroy things is better than any other operator that can currently soft breach, like Sledge or Buck, just because while Sledge and Buck are still great, they just don't destroy stuff as fast, as efficiently, and as safely as she's going to be able to do it. She could destroy mass amounts of stuff. She can destroy mass amounts of stuff with ease, all with a drone. So while the drone's doing its thing, destroying all sorts of, different soft things like walls and floorboards and what's not, you could sit there and you could guard it. You could, while someone's trying to push a flank, you could sit there and watch it as it's doing its thing. You could sit there and protect it. And this thing is completely bulletproof too. The only way to destroy it is if you throw some sort of explosive at it, like a nitro cell or an impact grenade, and or if you shoot, it has a little red, almost looks like a so like Mira's thing that she puts down, she has that red like gas tank thing that when you shoot it, it opens up the mirror window. It has something identical to that, where it has a little mini red gas tank to where when you shoot it, it will stop the drone in its place and will force it to explode. That's the only way to break it, is either explosives or to shoot that red thing on its back. Other than that, it's just going to keep going. You know, if you shoot it anywhere else, it's completely bulletproof, so it'll just keep on going. But yeah, this thing's going to be absolutely insane, and I think it's going to be one of the best gadgets to ever be released within Siege history. And she's either going to end up being one of the most banned operators ever, or going to be one of the most used operators ever. Just the... see him there. Just the destructive capability that it brings to the table and how much vertical play it has will permanently change the game. It's gonna make playing vertical so much easier. So yeah, that's Ram and her gadget, and now I want to talk about her loadout. So her loadout is pretty crazy. She brings the LMG-E, which is Zophia's LMG, and then she brings the R4C, which is the gun I'm using right now. However, on both the guns, they get high magnification sights on it, like the 1.5 and the 2.5, or the 2 times as well. I don't think there's a 2.5. But the 1.5 and the 2 times get put on the guns. Now that is insane for the R4C. Not so much for the LMGE. I don't really care for that gun. It got nerfed pretty hard because of the LMG meta. So I wouldn't even really touch that gun. But as for the R4C is amazing. It is such a good gun. And the fact that you can now put a 1.5 scope or a 2 times scope on it is going to be absolutely insane, and it's going you're going to be able to destroy like the capabilities you'll have with that is going to be crazy. Like even with 1 time scope on it, which is what Ash is only limited to having a 1 time scope on her R4C, is still really good. Like I use it on Ash. I use the R4C on Ash with the 1 time scope, and I still do really good with it. So I can only imagine with a 1.5 or 2 time scope how good it'll be. And I didn't play Siege when the R4C had a 2.5 scope on it, so I don't even know how that was. So this is going to be like that experience for me, having a 1.5 with the 1.5 meta being such a huge thing right now. So it's gonna feel like that for me when I had the 2.5 scope and everyone was using it. So I'm just really excited to use her gun and go crazy with the R4C with 1.5 scope. Moving on from there, the next thing I want to talk about is unranked getting switched to standard. So unranked is getting removed, and it's now being switched to what is called standard mode. And now standard mode will have no map bans, no operator bans, and overtime will only be 1 round instead of 2 rounds. Now, I don't like this whatsoever. I'm actually really sad that Unranked is leaving. I actually really love Unranked. It's a playlist that I still play a lot, and it was the playlist that when I first started playing this game, it was the only thing I ever played. Jesus, my God. I loved Unranked. That's all I ever played was Unranked, and it holds a special place in my heart because it was that great in between to where I didn't want to play quick match because quick match was just, yeah, I never liked quick match that much. I don't like the other game mode. I just like playing bomb. I don't like playing the other game modes. People play really stupid. I don't really like the other maps that are put within quick match, and overall quick match just isn't a good experience in my opinion. And then ranked is just crazy competitive. Most of the time I solo queue and solo queuing is an absolute nightmare. So solo queuing in unranked is like 100 times worse. And I don't really want to have to worry about decreasing in rank at all. So unranked was that perfect place where I could go, where I could still get like that ranked feeling. You know, I could still go in, get ban what map I want to ban the operators I want to ban, and play out a game without the consequences of potentially losing rank. Or losing rank. And I love that. And the fact that it's going really sucks. Because standard, I already know standard will not be the same. It'll not feel the same. It'll just, it won't be the same thing. So while this change might not be significant to some people, I'm kind of sad about it. But what are you gonna do? I guess, you know, I'll give it a try and see how it is. But I think that's a major L right there. Moving on to the next thing, it is Quick Match 2.0. So Quick Match 2.0 is going to be this whole new thing where they now have like these pre-set up sites, so to make it quicker. So when you go in, when you load into the match, you're already going to have stuff reinforced. You're going to have certain walls reinforced. You're going to have certain rotates already made. You're going to have certain holes already made, etc., etc. But apparently the problem with this is they are reinforcing walls and stuff that you shouldn't be reinforcing at all. Like, they're just not setting up the site how certain sites should be set up. Apparently in the test servers, a lot of people have been checking it out, and it's not looking good at all. So that's definitely a major problem. Like, if you're going to have, like, okay, cool. The whole concept of having a pre-set up site is cool, you know. I think it's definitely going to make things a lot quicker, a lot more smoothly, run smoothly. But the fact that they're not setting up the sites properly sucks, because not only is it setting a bad example for people who are just starting out on the game, and you know, they're starting out playing, they're seeing these site setups, and that's the site setups they'll get used to. So then when they go into ranked, they'll try to do the site setups, and if it's the wrong site setup, it's gonna mess everything up, you know. So if they're gonna do these pre-made site setups, they gotta do them right. And honestly, by now, like, every single site on every single map has its own site setup. They should know this. They should know exactly what they are. You know, it's been like this for years. Having the same site setup on the same sites on the same map. So that's the big thing here, is so long as they do them right, then this will be a cool idea, and I think it'll work. But if they don't, then it could cause a lot of confusion for people that play a lot of quick play and then want to go and play ranked. It'll mess them all up. So the next big thing that they changed was Lesion is getting a really big buff. So Lesion is, even though, so starting things off, he is losing the, like, his mines will no longer be visible or invisible. You will be able to see them, However, now when you hit one of his mines, it's going to give initial damage. Then it'll give, on top of the initial damage, poison damage. And on top of that, he's going to receive the super shorty as a secondary, which is really good to help set up sight and what's not. And then there's a few other things as well, like giving him another, like an extra mine, changing the times of the, when he receives a mine is now lower, so he gets them a lot quicker. And I believe that is it. But yeah, I think that's a major buff. Yes, it does suck that he's losing the invisibility effect on his mines, but everything else is a huge buff in my opinion. And honestly, I think it's going to make Lesion's gadget a lot more deadly and make him an overall better pick. And which he already is a good pick, but it's going to make him an even better one, in my opinion. Moving on to the next thing, it would be the Grim buff. So Grim is getting his second rework. Which within his first rework, they pretty much buffed the heck out of his gadget. They made it faster. They made it the spread of it bigger, and so on and so forth. And now with this new one, they're giving it another mode. So pretty much what they're doing is just like Habana or Capital, how like Habana could switch between 2, 4, and 6 pellets, and Capital could switch between fire and smoke. Now Grim is going to have the capability to switch between his things being able to stick to surfaces or bounce off of surfaces. So before, you would only be able to stick to surfaces. You'd shoot it and it'd automatically stick to the wall. Like, let's say if I were to shoot it right now, it'd automatically stick to the wall. But now you could switch it over to a mode that bounces, and then it could bounce off the wall somewhere else. So this would be very useful for, like, let's say there's a rotate right here. You know, there typically is a rotate right here, and you're worried about a player being right here. You could shoot his thing. You could shoot his thing on bounce mode, and it'll bounce off this vending machine through the rotate, and anyone that is on the other side of that rotate will now get pinged. And I think that's really, really cool. I think might not be as significant of a buff that people thought he was going to get. I think people thought it was going to be a lot bigger. They kind of hyped it up for it being crazy big. But regardless, I think it's still good. And I think it's still super beneficial for Grim. It's good that they're showing him some love and that he's going from what was a terrible op to a now actual usable operator who I'd say you could actually bring without people being like, oh, like, this guy's useless, like, why you bring Grim? Like, now when you bring him, he's actually gonna have a good use. He's gonna be like, okay, yeah, bring Grim, great. You know, he has his own little spot there, and I think that's great. I think the fact that he's useful now after being useless when compared to when he first came out is really good, and it shows that they actually want to fix these operators, which is great. I'm all for it. Oh god, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Ah! Another one there? There it was. All right, so the next thing that they did is the Frost rework that's coming. Now, this one is extremely controversial within the community. A lot of people don't want this to happen. And if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much when you step on a frost mat, let's say there's a frost mat right here, I jump through, I step on it. You are now able to take yourself out of that frost mat. Now, given when you do, you're going to have some really bad effects. You're going to be stammering a lot, like falling over as you walk, and you're going to be walking really slow. You're going to leave a huge blood trail behind you, and it's active for like an entire minute, I think, which is crazy. So if you do take yourself out, yeah, you're out of the frost trap, but the negatives to removing yourself from that frost trap are huge. So if there is a teammate next to you, make sure you have your teammate remove you from it instead of you removing yourself, because when you remove yourself, you're going to have all of these debuffs applied to you, and it's just not going to be good at all. So that's a really big change. Personally, I don't really like it. I'd rather it stay how it is now. I don't think anyone really was complaining about Frost and was saying Frost needed a rework at all. I don't think there was a single person that was like, oh yeah, if anyone needs a rework right now, it's Frost. But you know, here we are. So it is what it is. I mean, it's going to happen regardless. It's already set in stone. So at least they listen to the community and they fix some things from the test servers. When they went live in test servers, they made the debuffs even more significant. So at least they listened, and you know, again, it is what it is. Can't change it now. But it's not the worst thing in the world, honestly. It's not like game breaking, should I say. The next thing that's up is the shotgun buff. So shotguns are getting a complete rework done. And they're just going to be overall a lot stronger. So they're getting like the pellet spread is going to be a lot tighter. They're going to deal more damage at longer ranges. They're going to have more destructive capability. Jesus, can I not kill this guy? They're going to have more destructive capabilities. And so, like, it's going to be great for making pulls and rotates and what's not. And like I said, it's just going to be overall stronger. You're going to be able to kill people a lot quicker with it, with any shotgun. Now, this is only going to apply to the shotgun, like shotguns that have normal shotgun ammo. Anything that is a slug shotgun, it will not be applied to. So slug shotguns are not getting touched whatsoever. Slug shotguns are staying the same. But any other shotgun that has like normal shotgun rounds in it, you're going to see a significant difference in how they perform. And I think shotgun, I think it's great, honestly. Like, shotguns finally are going to get shown some love. They're finally going to be more usable. Because personally, I don't touch shotguns at all, just because I don't like them. I just don't think they're that good. Like, if I'm running smoke or mute, I'm running the SMG-11 the whole time. I only take that shotgun out to make rotates and holes. You know, I'm not actually using it to try to get kills. But now I think I'll definitely actually use the shotgun to try to get kills with it, instead of just using it to make rotates and what's not. So yeah, shotguns getting a huge buff. That's really good. I'm gonna actually try this map again. I don't know how I died right there. But the new big thing is there's going to be a new arcade game mode called Weapon Roulette. So every X amount of seconds, you're going to change your weapon. Which this is going to be, I think this is going to be really fun, honestly. I think that they're taking away headshots only to now put this in, which kind of sucks because headshots only was a really fun game mode in my opinion. But honestly, weapon roulette does sound even better. So I think it's gonna be really fun. I mean, it's gonna give you X amount of, it's gonna give you a gun every X amount of seconds. And you're constantly going to be switching between different guns with different attachments, and it's going to challenge your gun skill, and it's going to challenge your ability to be able to switch to different weapons and using different attachments. Yeah, it's cool. It's also really cool just to see them updating the playlists, and actually, like, instead of just completely like abandoning it, showing the playlist, showing that they actually want to work on the playlist, the arcade playlist, and actually improve on it and put things that we'd like into the arcade playlist, which is really cool. Moving on to the last major thing that they changed within the update is this new player protection mode, which it's kind of weird. So there's like this new Valor system where when you, at the end of the match, you have the ability to give like teammates compliments, pretty much. Like, there's a system where you could give teammates, like, say that they were really good with communication, or they just were overall like a really good teammate, or they like, I didn't mean to do that, or they, whatever the case might be. There's like a bunch of different options, so it's kind of weird, I ain't gonna lie. But hey, it's something. I guess it's one step closer to trying to make the game a little bit more friendly. And this whole system will be, so it will show off on your thing. It'll show that, okay, that you've received these amount of compliments. So you're going to now receive better drop rates or whatever. I think for the alpha packs, it'll give you like better chances of getting an alpha pack, and then mid-season they'll give you a legendary or even an epic alpha pack, just for having a good standing within this new system. But then if you have a bad standing, it could dramatically affect you, and it could bring your reputation system down, which then you'll then face the repercussions of the reputation system being low, which is rate. It'll show the penalties right here, which is if you get lowered. So honestly, I mean, it's cool. It's unique. It's different. It's definitely different. It'll take some getting used to, but I think it's one step closer to making this game a little less toxic, which is nice, because I think the game really needs it. Unfortunately, this game deals with a lot of toxicity. So it'll help to make it a little bit less toxic, and if it does, then I'm all for it. But yeah, that's all the major changes and things that are getting added within the new season. It was the new, so we went over the new operator, her gadget, and her loadout. Unranked getting changed to standard. Quick Match 2.0, the Lesion buff, the Grim buff, the Frost rework, the Shotgun buff, the new arcade game mode being Weapon Roulette, and the new player protection giving a new valor system where you can give players commendations. And yeah, those are all the major things that are getting changed. Of course, there's a lot of smaller stuff within there as well, and there might be a thing here and there that I missed. But overall, those are the major changes being brought to Year 8, Season 3. Coming out August, or not August, yeah, August 29th, I think it drops. I could be wrong on that date. I don't know the exact date, but it's going to be later in August, in a few weeks coming up. And yeah, but I think that about wrapped up this video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please give the video a like. And if you guys want more content like this, then subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, have a good day, guys. Goodbye.